So the previous reporters already discussed what is the life cycle costing process. So now I will be discussing the decisions in the life cycle costing process. Investors can cite the life cycle costing process of a building as a series of investment decisions. The procedure includes parallel and interrelated phases. So bakit nga ba sinabi na ang life cycle costing process of a building is a series of investment decisions? So a theoretical model integrates 6 following steps. The first one is the justification for investment requirements. So particularly in this stage, involves assessing whether there is a justification for the project, preparing a preliminary business case, and creating an organizational structure for the project. So this stage is done before the selection of the consultant team. So the next one is the conceptual development stage. Before tayo mag-build and mag-construct ng building in a specific area, kailangan muna nating alamin yung factors na makaka-affect doon sa building natin. Before tayo mag-build or mag-construct ng ating building sa isang specific area, kailangan muna nating alamin yung factors na pwedeng maka-affect doon sa building natin. Kasama doon sa factors na yon ay yung topography, yung weather, is it always sunny or is it always rainy, kasi pwedeng mag-cause, merong mga instances na mag-cause ng baha, mga ganong cases. Kailangan malaman muna yung mga factors na yun before designing and constructing a building. Once we already established the location and the factors that may affect our building, doon na papasok yung number 3, the design stage. So, one or more designs are developed in which the project result can apparently be achieved. The project supervisors use these designs to choose the definitive design that will be produced in the project. The design should be dimensionally correct and coordinated, describing all the concepts of the building and how they should fit together. So the design should be based on the conceptual development stage. Kailangan magmamatch yung design ng building sa mga factors na nalaman natin during the conceptual development stage. So the fourth stage is the production stage. In this stage, it is the process of identifying activities and resources required to make the design a physical reality. So the plan will be put into action. Ito na yung sa construction phase. So in this stage, gagawin na yung mismong building, i-construct na based doon sa design na napili ng supervisor or ng project manager. The fifth stage is the operational stage. It is the period of time that the relevant part of the authorized development is in operation after construction and commissioning is already complete. Ito na yung time na magagamit na siya ng occupant or ng kung sino man ang gagamit ng building or ng infrastructure. Last but not the least is the end of economic life stage. So, hindi lang nagtatapos yung life cycle costing process sa operational stage. Kailangan hanggang doon din sa end of economic life stage. First, ano nga ba yung economic life? Economic life refers to the amount of time an element is in service. So, in this end of economic life stage, it is where we exploit the potential of waste by transforming them into resources. The whole life cycle, from the site technological component to the whole building involving different activities, from raw material extraction to the final disposal, whether it be reuse or recycle. In the figure, we can see the graph of the life cycle costing process, the decision of the life cycle costing process. The horizontal axis represents a project phase and the time at which key decisions and life cycle costing analysis need to be performed or updated. So makikita natin sa horizontal axis yung concept, design, construction, operation, and end of life. And also the time na tinitake nila. Meanwhile, the vertical axis represents accumulative costs and costs of purchase and option within the life cycle of a construction project. Mapapansin nyo na yung concept may pinaka-konting time, pero meron siya din yung may pinaka-konting cost. Meanwhile, the operation phase has the longer time taken and also has the bigger cost. The real series of decisions depends upon the specific project procurement route strategy. Some are following decisions which could be assigned to the development process, while others might be connected with procurement and operational issues. So, mas maganda pa rin na merong life cycle costing process. Risk analysis and life cycle costing are conducted at the beginning and updated at the end of each stage of the construction project. So, hindi pwede na sa simula lang yung life cycle costing. Identifying, quantifying, responding, and managing cost and risk at each investment stage of a construction project could be a useful framework for comprehension cost and risk strategies. However, it could be a useful framework for all the decisions made through the life cycle of a building. Decisions concerning the choice of the construction technology and the construction materials are not any longer based entirely on technical and economic attitudes, but are becoming increasingly influenced by life cycle costs and environmental considerations. Additional info: the 6 significant factors affecting the life cycle cost elements of a building. The first and second one is the plan shape of the building and the size of the building. The simpler the shape of the building and the smaller the size of the building, meaning mas konti rin yung cost. Meanwhile, kapag mas complicated naman yung design and mas malaki yung binabalak na building na ipapatayo, mas marami ding magagastos. Number 3 is the number of occupants. Kapag mas marami yung occupants ng isang building, mas marami din yung resources and materials na kailangan. For example, since mas marami yung for example, you want to build a canteen in a school. Since marami yung students, mas marami din yung kailangan mong benches, tables, food na isa-serve. So, nakadepende din sa number of occupants. Number 4 is the quality of materials used. Choose between 2 or more assets or materials. Using life cycle costing helps us make purchasing decisions. Life cycle cost management depends on our ability to make a smart investment. When deciding between 2 or more assets, consider their overall cost, not just the initial cost or the price tag. Determine the asset's benefits. Weigh the pros and cons of your purchase. You can more accurately predict if the asset's return on investment or ROI is worth the expense. If you only look at the asset's current purchase cost and don't factor the future costs, you will overestimate the ROI. So, kunwari, bumili ka ng isang hollow blocks for your building. Binili mo siya kasi mura, pero hindi mo napansin or hindi mo alam na mas mapapamahal ka kasi substandard yung nabili mo. Tinignan mo lang yung price tag niya, which is mura, pero hindi mo na inisip yung mga future cost niya. So kapag nasira yung substandard na binili mo, bibili ka na naman ng bago. So mas mapapamahal ka. Create accurate budgets. A budget is made up of expenses, revenue, and profits. Failing to account for expenses can result to overspending and negative cash flow. Fifth factor is the function of the building. Sino ang gagamit ng building na ipapatayo mo? Ano ang purpose niya? Is it for public or for private use? And the last one is the technology used. So since meron namang mga innovations ngayon, meron ng machines and tools na innovate and na invent, mas napadali na yung pag-construct and pag-build natin ng infrastructure. So this ends my report in the decisions in the life cycle costing process. Thank you.